well, some smells just take you back to your childhood, and this one here oof, takes me back to my childhood. And this is sagu, sagu de vinho, which means red wine sagu or red wine tapioca pearls. This is pure nostalgic in a bowl, yes. This makes me remind when I was in Brazil with my family, a little girl enjoying and everything else. Wow, that was so good. No problems. I was still a little girl. My life was just perfect. I didn't have to worry about paying bills. And now I do. So sad. Oh well. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to make this dessert in a very traditional, classic way, just the way my mom used to do for me when I was this little, cute, happy girl. So let's start. So basically, the sagu or tapioca pearls are the Brazilian answer for pudding. It has like kind of the same texture, but instead of milk, we are using red wine. And because sagu, the tapioca pearls, are pure starch, that's why they get a texture that is like gummy, chewy, glossy, everything together. And it's also very fruity and cozy, and it's pure nostalgic for me as a Brazilian. So we're gonna first start explaining what is sagu. Sagu are those tiny tapioca pearls, as you guys can see here. So if you don't know what tapioca is, so let me explain you first. So tapioca is this starch that is extracted from the cassava root. So cassava is this root that is native from Brazil and South America, and many years ago was also taken to Asia. So you can also find tapioca pearls like that, or bigger like this, as you guys can see the difference between those two here. And there's also a smaller one. So the big one is usually used to make the bubble tea. So if you guys know, and I'm sure you guys all know what is bubble tea, so the traditional one is made with this big tapioca pearl here. But in Brazil, we don't usually have this one. We have the one that I'm showing you guys. And the tapioca pearls, they're not only used in Brazil, yes, but around the world, it's not only used for desserts, okay? So in India, you can find the sagu fritters, that is a savory dish, and many other stuff, okay? But in Brazil, we only use to make the sagu, okay? And to start, one of my favorite Brazilian dishes, it's not really my favorite, but it's on my top 5. We're gonna first toast the spices. So we are using cinnamon sticks, smells so good, and cloves. And obviously, if you like other spices, go for that. You can even use the mullet wine mix. I have in here, but I want to do the traditional one for you guys. But I'm sure the mullet wine mix will taste just amazing. So you can use that. And to increase the flavor, to boost the flavor, to wake up the flavor of the spices, we have to toast it. And I'm gonna also break a little bit the cinnamon sticks so it releases even more the spices. And in a dry pan, and it can be the same pan that you will use to make your sagu, okay? So let's first drop our cloves, and now we can break a little bit the cinnamon sticks. And try not to burn them, please, because if you burn the spices, you mess up the whole recipe, okay? What we want here is just to release their flavor, please. And once you start smelling that amazing flavor from the spices, now it's time to add our first liquid, okay? So it will be water. So basically, the first step, what we are making here is some sort of tea. So we have to kind of extract the first flavor from those spices with water. So you would be making cinnamon clove tea at first. So now we have to wait it come to a boil, then we move to our next step. And now that the water is already boiling, is when we add our sagu, also known as tapioca pearls. And half of the same amount of the tapioca pearls in sugar. And obviously, if you want to make this recipe healthier, you can use some sort of healthier sweetener. That would be erythritol, xylitol, or maltitol, or whatever. You can use that, just make sure you know the right quantity. So let's say half a cup of sugar would be, I don't know, like 1/4 of cup of erythritol or whatever. You have to check that online. Maybe I can leave in the description here for you guys if you want. But I'm gonna go with just sugar because it's not much sugar, so that is fine. And the secret now is don't stop stirring. Stirring? I don't know. Just keep mixing for about 5 minutes or so. So now that this has been boiling for around 5 minutes, now is the time to add our other ingredients. So I'm gonna go now with some red wine. And from my video of the francesinha that I did with my friends that is in here or here, I don't know, somewhere here, I still have a leftover from port wine. And well, it's just a little bit, so I'm gonna finish this in there as well. And the wine that I'm using is just simple, cheap wine that comes in a box like that. But feel free to use the type of wine you want. I only use this one to cook because it's quite cheap and gets the job done. But if you cannot find one that is like a more or less okay quality, go for the bottled one, and then it's absolutely fine. Choose the wine that you prefer, but try not to choose one that is way too dry, okay? For this recipe, it won't work that well. And to boost up a little bit more the grape wine flavor and the sweetness, we're gonna use grape juice, okay? So very strong in color, strong in flavor, grape juice. Yeah. In Brazil, traditionally, we use the tang, that is this thing here. And it's basically the Brazilian version for Kool-Aid. That is the American thing in here. And well, they're pretty like shitty for your body with lots of sugar, fake flavor, and a ton of bad stuff. So here in Spain, it's also really hard to find those things. So I decided to go with a normal and traditional and amazing flavor grape juice. That is basically just grape juice. And this one that I got is grape juice from concentrated, which has even more like, which the flavor is even stronger. But if you don't want to do that, it's okay. Go for the traditional one that we use in Brazil, the tang or Kool-Aid, grape flavor, okay? But yes, I prefer to go with that one. And now that we already have all the ingredients in here, we're gonna first bring this again to a boil. And once it reaches to the boiling point, we're gonna lower that for simmering. So now that this is already boiling, I'm gonna lower the temperature. So medium heat and let it simmer. And when this is simmering, you have to come and mix every now and then. So if you want like a perfect timing, every 5 minutes, come, give a little stir so the sagu, the tapioca pearls, they don't get all clumped together. That's not what we want. We want them loose, free inside the liquid. So after half an hour, for me, okay, maybe for you it will take less or more because it depends on the size of your tapioca pearls. So if you get the Brazilian one that is called sagu, you have the same size as mine. So it will probably take half an hour cooking on medium heat. But if you take the one that they use for bubble tea or other dishes or the little ones, then the time will be or more for the bigger one or less for the tiny ones. So then this is your choice, okay? And now that we took this long, and they have to be 90% cooked. So you still see like this, so a little white spot in the middle is a perfect time to stop the cooking because they will keep cooking and they will keep hydrating. And if you cook all the way through, they will probably become a fake gooey mess. And that's exactly what we don't want for our Brazilian sagu dish, okay? So once they reach the perfect cooking texture, the perfect thing, we stop cooking, and now we are gonna rest it in the same pan that we used to cook, but cover, for about half an hour. So it will keep hydrating and you don't overcook it, okay? So half an hour has gone through and a little bit more because I was doing a few other things in here. Sorry, I had to eat, have my lunch because I was hungry, and well, whatever. and now you have this amazing texture. It still needs a little bit longer to cool it down and gets even thicker. But now we can finally transfer to a container. So I clearly couldn't fit this wine in this container. I don't know why I thought I could. So I just grabbed another huge one. Dump me. Okay, let's redo that. Transfer to a container. Now I just have more dishes to wash. Okay, you know, just get yourself a big container and you will not have the same problem as I just did. So, continuing, transferring to the container. And now you should leave this outside to cool down completely. And then you can eat. So, we are gonna wait a little bit longer to finally eat this. But I'm dying to eat this. I just had my lunch and I need a dessert. So, come on. So, finally time to eat. And I'm sorry, I couldn't take any longer. I didn't wait to cool down fully. It's just a little bit cooler. But I need to eat these. I'm so hungry. I need something sweet. And I love this. And I really need to eat. So that's it. So let's serve this one here. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Let's mix a little bit more. Yummy. Let me rescue some cinnamon stick. Don't leave anything to waste, please. And traditionally in Brazil, we eat this with some creme anglaise, like a custard, or condensed milk, sweetened, of course. And because I'm too lazy to make custard here for you guys, and I couldn't find any good quality in the supermarket, I'm just gonna go with my favorite, condensed milk. This one here. Sad. First, let me try the condensed milk, because it might not be too tasty. Yes, it tastes good, obviously. So let's add this into our sagu to make it taste even nicer and to break the acidity and the strong flavor from the red wine. So let's just add this one. Okay, I think that's enough. So yes, finally time to taste it. Oh. Cheers. This is so good, so good. Oh my god, this literally takes me back to my parents' house on those weekends that I don't know, I just want to have some little dessert and enjoy and watch a movie and play with your family and everything else. Yes, so good. And if you never tried sagu, the Brazilian version, in your life, maybe this is your sign to do. So let me know here down in the comments have you ever tried sagu? Would you try? Have you ever tried a different version of that? Or whatever. So please let me know down here. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share my video to your friends so everybody learns how to make sagu and a few other Brazilian things. So stay tuned for the next episodes, my dears. And that's it. See you next. Bye. Oh.